When the right people come together at the right moment, when they care almost as much about winning as they do about each other, they can become the best of the best.
Welcome to the best soccer show, the best soccer show in the whole world.
Here we go. It's the best soccer show. Jason Davis, Jared DuBois. It's a super edition of the best soccer show. Jared, if we could be better than we already are and we are the best, we would be super. Like we would have superpowers maybe. What superpower would you have if you could have a superpower?
If I could have a superpower, man, you know what? Immortality sounds nice.
That's a superpower? I think that's cheating.
I'll think Wolverine's healing factor then. That's like immortality.
Okay, I see what you're saying. Okay,
Wait,
so
are
you
we going to gloss over the fact you introed with shades on?
They were sitting here. I thought I'd throw them on. I'm doing a lot of bits these days. Let me just tell you that Old Dad FC, for whatever reason, I think I've probably always been this person, but I back when my first child was born, I was in a different place in my life. I didn't have any money. I was anxious and nervous about everything. I hated my job. It wasn't fun. I'm having so much fun with a newborn in my house. Yeah, well, I'm getting up every 3 hours and it's hell and all that. But man, the bits are incredible. I'm doing incredible bits with him.
I gotta say, you had shades of Mike Damone from Fast Times at Ridgemont High with that.
Did I? All right. So what kind of Mike Damone? Man, Mike Damone is the kid the one who sells tickets and gives all the
the
advice,
lady
right?
will have linguine and clam sauce and a Coke with no ice.
I got this bit going where my kid's name is Tiago. Everybody knows Tiago, and he's like I'm like a Bond villain, like addressing him like we've reached the climax of the movie, like Mr. Tiago, you are here again to foil my plans, but I have something for you. Every day. It's great. I love it. It's so much fun. He doesn't know what's going on. He's just pooping and eating.
Have you had any like accidents, like you know what kind of accidents I'm talking about, where it's like, oh my God, how did that happen?
No. He's let the fire hose go a couple times, but yeah. I quickly learned, hey, I knew this from before, but you kind of have to be reminded, put something over the hose when you make that effort to change. My wife has had a couple of after the first time, she's had multiple incidents, and I'm like, wait, didn't you not learn to cover as soon as you get that diaper off, cover it up.
My man gets that draft. You get that draft and it makes you want to go.
That's exactly what it is. We're dealing with diaper rash. You know how it goes.
By the way, what are the odds that Nicky Soup and Sausage has seen Fast Times at Ridgemont High?
Ooh,
which we just referenced.
Good. Nick, can we bring in Nicky Soup? Hold on. Wait, I got to properly introduce you. Let me do that.
The Sausage King of Chicago.
There he is, the Sausage King of Chicago.
If you had a $20 bill, Jason, would you put it on red or black? He's seen it or he hasn't seen it?
Hold on, I'm going to look at him real quick. Let me just say, we've played poker already with Nicky Soup and Sausage. I think he's got a pretty good poker face. I'm going to say no. The odds are my favor if I say no, right? I think that's
There's
right.
far more movies he hasn't seen than seen.
That's what I'm saying. Nick, have you seen Fast Times at Ridgemont High?
Hell no.
What do you mean hell no? Dude? Don't be proud of that, okay? That is an American classic.
When you close your window and you go back to producing, search the term Phoebe Cates and then come back to
I know
us.
about that.
Okay.
Oh, so wait, hold on. You were properly indoctrinated as a young man, a young heterosexual man. Obviously, people of different political predilections will have different things they can focus on. But you were indoctrinated in that, but you didn't see the actual movie?
Correct.
Oh my God. So
this is the scene where she comes out of the pool, right?
Yes, the scene where she comes out of the pool. Can you name two people who are in that movie? I'm just curious.
Other than Phoebe Cates?
Other than Phoebe Cates.
Sean Penn's in it.
Yes.
Sean Penn is in it. Yes.
Hold
on. Go ahead.
Oh, it looked like you were going to say it.
Hang on. He's got a weird name. Judge Reinhold?
Yes.
Oh,
nicely
look
done.
at that. Two. He's got two. That's pretty good.
But never.
If you want to go super deep, Eric Stoltz and Nick Cage.
Forrest Whitaker is in that movie.
Forrest Whitaker's in that movie.
Forrest Whitaker. I used to have the drop because once upon a time, Jared made a reference to Carlos Vela not really caring about his team and kind of just like flying in for games. And in that movie, Forrest Whitaker is like the greatest football player his school has ever seen. And there's a kid who makes a joke like, "Oh, I didn't think he lived here. I thought he just flew in for games."
Doesn't it feel like Fast Times takes place in the same valley of California as Karate Kid? Like,
Yeah.
that's around Reseda
Yeah.
somewhere.
Yeah. By the way. Yeah. Wait, you talk about how I finished. You didn't want any spoilers. That's what it was, right? We did. I did tell you that I finished.
Oh yeah, I haven't got back. into
Yeah,
it.
okay. We'll come to TV shows at some point. I mean, this is ostensibly a soccer program, and
Maybe
there's
have
some
the
soccer
bonus
stuff.
show. You know, if you want to hear more pop culture and more movie and TV stuff, get on the Patreon. You get the bonus show there. We do a lot of that.
I'm pitching a Ted Lasso watch along for the bonus show, and Jared's like, "Oh, well, we
When
can
you
do
said
that,
I'm
but not."
pitching, I thought that was going to go someplace else. A tent.
Okay, no, I don't, what? No. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. We're not
We're talking about
starting that
Phoebe
way.
Cates.
We did talk about Phoebe Cates. You know what? That movie, just a little early for my formative.
I think it's what,
experience.
82 or something like that.
Yeah,
Definitely
it was. You had to have caught it like maybe it wasn't. I don't think it was like one of the HBO rotation movies. It was no
would
Revenge
be-
of the Nerds, Jared. It was no Revenge of the Nerds. Let me just say that.
Yeah, I'm not sure how I ended up catching it, but I definitely caught it at some point, and I loved it.
Oh yeah, I watched it at some point. I was thinking about that today too, just before we get into the soccer. You know, we live in the era of new content. You flip on Netflix, or you turn on Netflix, and there's 8,000 new shows that you can watch, right? And it's not just from here. There's a Spanish show that's really interesting, and there's a show from Sweden and Switzerland and Germany and all this stuff. And I'm thinking, do people go back and watch the classic, like the old stuff that we used to watch? And honestly, the only reason I caught so much of that was through HBO. Like, I don't know that I would ever see Caddyshack if not for HBO.
Well, we had something out here called the Family Film Festival, where you could see the very heavily edited versions of those movies, like super like censored and stuff like that. Every Saturday or Sunday on the weekend out here, you always had those kind of shows. It was like that and Escape to Witch Mountain, those kind of things. Like were always on there. But yeah, my parents had HBO, and we were definitely that family that taped everything on HBO.
Oh yeah, we had a bunch of VHS tape. So now people in general, if you have a hole in your resume, and we talked about this, like when we used to do a pop culture show before we brought back this program, we used to talk about the holes. Like I have holes in my resume for shows that are movies that you love, and vice versa. And it's like
for me, like I've never seen Godfather, and that's a huge hole for you.
Who's going to go back and watch that stuff now when there's 8,000 things on Netflix that you haven't that are brand new? That's I don't know. That's the question that I have for people.
It's hard to go back now and do it. It's hard to go back now because there's so much new stuff. It's hard to go back and fill those holes.
Now, if the MLS season was going to be delayed because of a work stoppage, you might have more time to go back and watch all the classics. But it looks like, Jared, we're going to start on time. Are you excited? Are you thrilled?
No, because I think the Galaxy were being pragmatic and didn't sign anyone thinking that they didn't know the season's going to start, and now they're going to start the season with like no changes from last year other than
someone seems
withdrawals.
to think you have talent. But unfortunately, this is Los Angeles.
Los Angeles.
I need more than talent. I need stars. Enjoy the party.
To be fair, they did add a coach, so maybe I should be happy about that.
They did add a coach. I think. Well, I guess let's focus in on this CBA thing, right?
Yeah.
And everybody knows that follows Major League Soccer knows the background on this. That there was a CBA agreed to in early 2020 when the CBA was supposed to be negotiated, and then it didn't get ratified because that usually takes a couple months, and there was really no hurry. We agreed to everything. Let's just start the season, the 25th year of Major League Soccer. Let's do this. Then the pandemic hit, and everybody shuts down, and the league is like, whoa. We're not making any money. We got to get back to soccer somehow. Let's talk to the players about this. The players took a 5% pay cut, and the owners, I guess, got their soccer back on some level. Then they put in that force majeure clause at the same time that the owners then executed at the end of 2020, right on the eve of the new year. And the players were like, "Yo, what the hell? We just did that. Like, why, dude?" And then obviously there was some back and forth. And what always happens, Jared? Whenever there's a CBA, whenever we hear that the players they're digging in for a fight and they're going to really push the owners to get what they want, and et cetera, what always happens?
The players get the screws put to them.
The players get the screws put to them, and what are the players going to do? You can look at it two ways. The players caved. That's the negative take on what the players did. Or you can say, what are the players supposed to do? What options do they have? Really? What
go to
options?
Europe, like half the players did, but there's not enough. But not everyone can make that move, and not everyone's team will let them go.
Here's another little wrinkle about that too. Yes, on the original timeline that Major League Soccer had, the 30-day negotiating window after they executed the force majeure, players could have left to sign with new teams if there was a lockout and they were out of contract, because the lockout would deem them out of contract. But because Major League Soccer agreed to a week-long extension with the players, it pushed that lockout possibility past the end of the window in most of the European leagues. So if you wanted to go sign somewhere in Europe, you're shit out of luck. Sorry for my language, because the window had closed. You couldn't go anywhere. So what are you going to do now? You're an MLS player. The only place you can play is America. The owners are saying, we want 2 extra years on the deal. What are the players going to do? Really?
It's tough. And here's the hard part about it too, us talking about it tonight. We don't know everything that really changed in this. So all we really know is that it went to 2027. And that was the big thing that was being discussed, was the players aren't going to want to push past the World Cup. They're going to want to have a negotiation before then, or immediately thereafter, so they can make some kind of deal based off of the coming out of the World Cup. Now that means they have to wait through 2027.
Yeah,
we don't know what they got maybe in return for that, but it can't. Whatever they got in return, if anything, can't be as big as that, right?
No, I mean, I think I've seen a take that said, and this is all speculation, right? We don't know the details. What we've heard from people who are tied in, the reporters that have sources like Goff and Carlisle, is that they agreed to some. Obviously, the players' union put out a statement that said they agreed to this. It's just a matter of voting. But what I've seen in the analysis is likely that the owners put back in the escalation on salaries that were already in the CBA on the same timeline. Basically, the owner's saying, we want 2 extra years, but we'll still give you your salary escalations as originally agreed to. But what we care about is not negotiating a new deal until after the World Cup in 2026 or after the 2027 season. Like, literally, that pushes the players well past that big bump. And that's for the owners, that's the important thing. It's not necessarily about the salaries. The salary budget is going to go up by 0.5 million this year and 0.75 next year. It's not that. It's simply, we don't want to negotiate because we know you'll be able to ask for more.
The more I think about it, though, who are the players that were really going to benefit from the exposure of the World Cup? Now, the league overall definitely could. But if you're really looking at the national team these days, how many of those guys are in MLS? The people that will be showcasing at the World Cup are not necessarily the people that are going to be in position to take advantage of an MLS agreement.
It's not about that, though. It's about money.
Soccer.
It's about soccer. It's about people in companies, in marketing departments, in the people that are paying for ads and putting the name of their business on a placard that goes next to something. Those people are going to go, oh, soccer? There's soccer coming? Let's get some soccer going, because they're going to see everybody get excited. The mainstream, you know how this goes, Jared? The mainstream media, people that don't ever talk about soccer, the people that are all paying attention to the Super Bowl right now. And good. The Super Bowl is a big event. It's an American tradition. I get it. It's a fixture of our lives here.
It's so important. Pulisic didn't play today.
That was that his family thing? He couldn't play because he had a family thing, which was watching the Super Bowl.
Had to get his bowl of wings.
He had to get his buffalo wings together. You're really working on that recipe, right? Are you a ranch guy, or you
got an all-day smoke on the brisket at
You're
home?
definitely not a blue cheese guy, are you? You're a ranch guy.
No, I'm not any. That's creamy stuff. You know, I hate creamy stuff.
The horror show.
You have to dip your wings in something.
I do. Wing sauce.
No, you wing sauce it up and then you put on.
That's for babies that can't handle heat.
Whoa. I can handle my heat, and I like a little bit of extra flavor.
I just
you don't like flavor?
Why you want to cool it down.
You're the man with the guns out in the Mr. T shirt doesn't like flavor?
This dude right here doesn't need to cool his stuff with anything.
Did you just point to your bicep?
I pointed to something that used to be a bicep. At one time, there was a bicep there.
Oh, man.
This one right here did 36 holes today, baby.
but not like actual, not what most people think of as 30. First of all, there's a place you could go with that, which we don't need to even.
I didn't go to the club.
No. Which club? There's many different clubs you could go.
The gentlemen's go to.
Yeah, I'm saying that the general interest in soccer picks up during a World Cup, around a World Cup, and when you get past it, they all suck that money back, right? It doesn't stay. Now, look, there will be a bump in interest, and MLS might benefit for a year or two. There might be more people in the stands in general in certain places, although there are cities and towns where, everything's good. That's going to happen. And so the owners are like, well, we don't want to let you have any leverage by you being able to point at all those things that are happening. That's what this is. Right?
Listen, the owners won on this. There's no way to second guess it. The owners won in this, as they often do. What we'll find out over the coming week or so is how badly potentially the players lost, if they got anything else from a concession standpoint. But it's interesting that since I brought it up shortly, just a real quick side topic here. 2026, over or under 5 MLS players on that squad, you think?
Okay, we did call it that. 2026 over under 5 MLS players on the 2026 U.S. men's national team roster. I'm going to say under.
I think there's 2 guaranteed. The 2 backup keepers probably.
That's probably true. Although it depends on how Ethan Horvath gets along. Let's say Simone Mignolet gets hurt, or Horvath finds a move in Europe. He could be the number 2, and now you've got Stefan and Horvath. Just saying.
That's a crazy thing, though, right?
Matt Turner could get a move too. He could be moving
6
on.
6 years from now,
somewhere.
how old is he then? I'm not sure. Is he 28 now or something?
He's not 20. I think he's 25. I don't know. All I know is the man's dating a Patriots cheerleader, so that's good.
What?
Ted, you didn't know that? You didn't know that he had it like that?
That dude?
You got to dig. He's 26 years old. You got to dig.
That dude.
Hey man, you know how this goes, okay? Don't act like you're surprised, right? Don't act like you act like you don't get it with professional athletes. Doesn't matter.
Yeah,
Doesn't
dude.
matter.
I guess the professional athlete must go a long way. My man Matt Turner. Listen, the dude could stop a PK. I just didn't think he could pull a Patriots cheerleader. So good on him.
Look, I don't want to spend a ton of time on this. This is like,
I think Nick has something to add with that, though.
I was
labor
just gonna say
negotiation.
a fun little fact about Matt Turner is that he was actually born during the '94 World Cup in the U.S.
Fun
During
fact.
Isn't that crazy? I mean, just to think. I mean, I don't know. Maybe it's just
So you're telling me,
you mean-
as I watched Marcelo Balboa's bicycle kick go past the upper uprights, his dad was actually scoring.
Yeah.
Oh.
Man. Yeah, he was doing what Marcelo Balboa could not do. Score.
Oh wait, no, I guess
that
9 months
moment.
before that he scored. Dang it.
That's a
My
good
bad.
point.
He was qualifying.
He was remembering the time he scored while his son was being born. That's the way where to go.
Hey, good on you, Matt Turner. I hope he goes overseas. That dude's a good dude, man.
Well, look, I think it's possible that there will still be a young player or two that it's in MLS that has a lot of potential that gets taken. And we don't know. Look, we know that Berhalter is going to get to 2022. We don't know what's going to happen after that.
It'd be interesting. I've never pulled the numbers myself. I wonder if anyone has ever kind of composed it. But what has been the percentage of MLS-based players since 1998 through the 2000?
Oh, it's been dropping. I've seen those numbers at some point in passing on Twitter somewhere. They've definitely been dropping.
So, for example, 2018, would you say it was greater or less than 50%?
2018.
Oh, never mind. There was no 2018. Excuse me.
The failure of a roster, the absolute
I guess you have to go back to 2014.
And or hello.
2014 MLS, U.S. men's national team roster. I'm trying to remember that roster. I know Beckerman played well and was on that roster. Zusi was on that roster. Beasler was on that roster.
Just over under on
23 spots. I'm going to say 10 of those were MLS players.
Okay,
at least.
I have it up in front of me right now. Of the 23-man roster, there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Oh,
MLS
look at
players
that.
on that roster.
Look at that. Look who's
So
very,
even
very
then,
smart.
less than 50%.
Yeah, would you
I'm
expect
kind of
otherwise?
surprised at that. I thought it might have been 50 or greater on
That was
roster.
a Jurgen Klinsmann team. Jurgen Klinsmann absolutely valued European players. Probably
There
more
might
than
have been more
MLS.
Germans than MLS players on that team.
He did take a player who didn't have a senior cap at the club level yet in Julian Green. He took that player. So, by the way, Julian Green tearing it up. Julian Green deserves more of a look than Terrence freaking Boyd, by the way. I don't know what you're doing.
They both deserve more of a look than Josh Sargent.
They do not. No, they do not. They do not. They do not. I don't know why you think this is a good hill
I don't
to
know
die
why you
on.
set me up on a tee if you don't want me to hit it out the park.
No, I don't want to do that right now. I don't want to talk about that. I was going to put a bow on the CBA thing and say that, look, I don't want the players to get screwed. I am tired of that. I do think that at some point there needs to be some serious advancement. I don't think it's right that the owners went back to renegotiate after everything that's happened. And I understand that that their businesses are hurting, but again, these are billionaires in some cases. But I'm glad the season's going to start on time. Can I say that? Can I be of two minds on this?
No, I think there's nothing wrong with that. But unfortunately, I think the downside of it, and I kind of alluded to it earlier when I talked about the Galaxy, is I feel a lot of the teams in this league did not prepare as aggressively as they would have otherwise. Both because a lot of them are probably being financially hamstrung from the last season, and also the uncertainty of not knowing what was going to happen. I mean, does DC? Oh yeah, DC has a coach now. Never mind. But even they left that till late. I mean, Seattle left their renegotiation till late. I mean, there was a lot of stuff that was in flux to last minute, and I think a lot of teams haven't filled holes because they didn't know what they could promise a player or get the return on their investment.
I think Atlanta made some moves, and they're looking strong for the new season. I think that they're going to be fine. That actually, I want to talk about Americans abroad, and we need to talk about a certain absentee from the Chelsea game day roster today. But since you brought that up, and I guess this is just going to be
sausage king of Chicago,
a very Nicky Soup and Sausage heavy program. But we should talk about FC Cincinnati, Jared, making some new look. Nothing's official, right? Nick, right? Nothing's official, right?
Nothing is official from a Major League Soccer FC Cincinnati standpoint.
Well, that's what I mean.
Brenner it was made official by his club that he is leaving to come to FC Cincinnati.
Yes. Okay. So, Jared, do you know about what FCC has been doing? What they've been up to? What they're?
I have heard of some rumors, but maybe we should let the guy that cracked the rumors kind of tell us about it.
Yeah. Is that a joke? Okay, I don't know. Go ahead. I never heard anybody cracking rumors. Is that how you do? Is that what you do to a rumor?
I don't know, dude. I'm not that game. What am I? Is my name Ives? I don't know this stuff.
Ives DuBois. That's amazing. I'm all in on that. Let's do that. Oh, okay. So I was thinking about this today, and Nick's going to give us the details here. But this very much, just because of who FC Cincinnati has been, this very much feels like, and I think I use this analogy a lot, the kid returning from summer break, going back to school, first day of school. This kid, FC Cincinnati, they were riding a bicycle to school at the end of the last year. Like they were they were at the bike rack, and none of the cool kids are in the parking lot getting into their rides. People are sharing rides. It was a rusty
bike with a tire that was about to fall off.
They had nothing, right? They had a bell on it. Ring, ring, ring. They're in junior year. Like, what the hell are you doing with a bell in junior year? They came back with a Mercedes-Benz, Jared.
I think it's more equivalent to the girl that leaves one year and over the summer gets her braces taken off and comes back the next year, hair's done different. It's like, ooh, never noticed you before.
Well, that's the standard nerd gets the makeover trope from movies. I'm saying that they're spending money. The money is what I'm talking about here, right? Broke down bicycle with the bring on it. Suddenly they've got like the ride, like maybe it's like, I don't know, throw whatever car you think would impress an 18-year-old, 17-year-old kid. That's what FC Cincinnati is doing. I guess, Nick, what you need to do first is tell us about these rumors, and then we'll get into how and why.
Yeah, so I don't want to take credit for breaking the Brenner story.
You cracked that story. Cracked
that was
it.
From another FC Cincinnati publication, the Post Cincinnati. They did a good job breaking that story. But yeah, he's a 21-year-old striker from Brazil. They're at Sao Paulo. He's played in 30 games for them, and I believe he scored 17 goals, if I'm not mistaken.
Worth $15 million is speculation of what he's worth. And listen, FC Cincinnati getting run in Forbes.com. That literally was on Forbes.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but basically anybody can write for Forbes, so I wouldn't put a lot of stock in that. But go ahead.
But still, I mean, the fact that
Big J over here wants to talk about it.
The fact that they are trying to break or may nearly break the Major League Soccer transfer record is impressive.
Okay. Before we get to the other one, which I think is even crazier, well, maybe not. They're equally crazy. They're both bonkers. FC Cincinnati's, I feel like sometimes they don't even have enough coupons to go get themselves a free Skyline every now and then. And here they are dropping. You're saying they're going to drop a potentially close to an MLS record fee. What are we talking about here, Jared or Nick? What are we talking about?
Look, right now, I think the reports we're seeing to be about 15 million, 13 million, and then 2 million more in percent
dollars.
Now, I'd be interested to know if there's a sell on this. If there's a sell on this, if you're Sao Paulo, you got to think that they would be interested in that.
Sao Paulo retains 20% ownership of the player.
It's not a sell on per se. It's 20%. So if Cincinnati sells them for $20 million, then they're going to get, what is that, $4 million, right?
Yeah. Yep.
So yeah. So I think the other thing, and this is where it becomes multi-dimensional chess on the part of Gerard Niekamp. Their commonality between this rumor and the other rumor, which Nick is about to tell us about, is that both of the clubs are in desperate financial. Both of them are broke as hell. Like they need some money, and they're just like, okay, somebody come buy some. Like this is
the other
pawn
one doing
shop.
the revolution.
This is some pawn shop level stuff. Now that makes FC Cincinnati the pawn shop, and I don't know if you want to be labeled as such, Nick. What's the other? Tell us about the other rumor.
Yeah, so the other rumor, we were able to break the story at Cincinnati Soccer Talk late on
Thursday
night.
You cracked the story. Come on, let's go.
You know, Pity Martinez, formerly of Atlanta United, currently in Saudi Arabia with Al Nassr. I believe I'm saying that correctly. If I'm not, I apologize. The clubs have agreed a transfer fee. All that's left to iron out right now is the allocation process with who currently right now Austin FC owns the top spot in the allocation order. So
they are going to pull
why
everything.
Why is that
they
an
can
allocation? Why doesn't Atlanta still own his rights?
So Atlanta sold him, and
Sold
so
him.
because he was sold outside of MLS, he is now subject to the allocation. He's on the allocation list. So right now, from what I've been told, reports are that the club that he's with, they're having financial troubles, like Jason said, and so they just paid $18 million to Atlanta United to bring him over there.
So here's the thing. I'm going to bring this up. It's going to go right over your picture here on our lovely video feed, but that's okay. Graham says, didn't Pity deny that rumor on Twitter? Now, Pity did not deny it on Twitter, but he did deny it on Instagram. So, Mr. Soup and Sausage, you tell me, what does it mean that Pity Martinez took to his Instagram account and did that thing where you type in and just put it up on the screen that says, I'm happy here?
Yeah, so from our reporting, we've got really reliable sources on the negotiations that are going on right now with Pity, and what we know is that the two clubs have agreed a fee, and at this point they're waiting on the allocation process to play itself out. Now, the reason why there's been a little bit of a delay is obviously Major League Soccer has been involved in other things at the moment, particularly the CBA. That's also why you haven't seen Brenner be announced by FC Cincinnati in the club, despite Sao Paulo basically announcing that he was leaving and coming to Cincinnati. So I think there's a couple reasons for that. One, what's he going to say, right? Is he going to say that he's going to leave? He's going to upset their fan base?
He could also say nothing. He can just be quiet, but that's not what he did.
No,
but here's the thing: for people that are new to MLS, they may not understand why Nick's saying what he's saying. Because even if the club agrees to terms, MLS can say no, and that's not like other sports and other leagues where the MLS can just say no, that we're not going to let you spend that much money on a player.
I don't think MLS is in the business of saying no very often anymore. But
it's still their right of refusal.
No, it's true, but the other part of it is as we said, the allocation part of it. So FC Cincinnati's in 14th, the 14th allocation spot or something like that. Austin FC has the number one. In order to be able to grab Pity because he's allocated, they would have to trade up with Austin. Austin's going to say, well, we want everything you got. And Cincinnati's going to say, no, please, don't take everything we got. Right. So, yeah, I mean, there's that. But at the same time, if Austin doesn't have a player that they're ready to take right now, it benefits them to trade for $500K in Tam or Jam or Ham or whatever it is. Right?
True. Yeah.
So one of the AMs.
What does this make? What do you
you can't trade Tam anymore, by the way. That's one of the things with what was agreed upon last year.
Oh, yes, I do remember. That was in the new
Tam now.
That was in the CBA 2 CBAs ago, which was only a year ago in this terms of CBA time.
I hate this league so much sometimes.
It is difficult.
Why would they do this? Why would they do this? And why can't you think of a better freaking name than some of this stuff so we can understand it?
I'm of two minds here. Now, I've railed about MLS and the rule book for a long time. I think it's ridiculous.
Oh, you've seen the rule book?
No, I mean, it's under lock and key. It's like in national. What is the
National
Nicolas
Treasure?
Cage, National Treasure. Like you got to go into some catacombs. There's always catacombs, right?
Of course.
Right. I was doing this thing. I was picturing with my kid. This is an old dad FC moment. He's upset. He's hungry. We give him the pacifier. He's got the pacifier, and then you get the bottle ready. You got to get the bottle ready. You get the pacifier while you get the bottle ready. Then you get the bottle, and you do the pacifier switch with the bottle, like it's Indiana Jones, like it's the bag of sand.
Yeah.
For the statue. It's like it's a hell of a move. I've bitched about the MLS complexities for a very long time. On the other hand, it's not like there aren't other leagues. Not soccer, I'll admit that. But it's not like there aren't other leagues that have, like, I don't know a sign and trade with the max contract. I don't know any of that crap in the NBA. But NBA heads know it up and down, and they love talking about it.
I can tell you a time in the NBA where something like this did happen, though, when Chris Paul was supposed to come to the Lakers.
That's true. It did,
and the league nixed it.
They nixed that one, right? Yeah.
So it doesn't happen often, but it happens. But to your point,
is FC Cincinnati the new sexy, Mr. DuBois? You're the arbiter, man.
If you let both those players, that you have a case to be sexy. And here's the thing: how far down the list? If I started naming teams that because they're going to bring two big name players in and pay a lot of money for them, how long would I have to go down before I got to Cincy and you said yes?
A long way. Now
the bottom almost. I mean,
I will
literally
say,
below Cincy, I would have had New England and probably Colorado.
Okay.
And Dallas, because Dallas doesn't pay for players.
A couple of things we're saying. Number one, Brenner he has done some things and scored some goals for Brazil on the international level. He's still young and pretty raw, and we don't know if he's going to come good, right? And this is a young DP situation. So Cincinnati's saving money on the salary budget because of his age. And the second thing is, Pity Martinez was pretty crap when he was here with Atlanta. Okay, I'm not saying it can't be better.
Didn't live up to the fee that Atlanta paid, for sure.
Yeah, and look, I know he was South American Player of the Year, and he obviously is good, and it needs to be the right situation. Maybe that's under Jaap Stam in Cincinnati. Maybe it is. I think this is obviously a lot about Cincinnati trying to build momentum with the stadium. Like this is a lot about we got to get people in Cincinnati excited about our product. I will say I have one request. I said this on Twitter when I heard about the Brenner rumor. My only request is that the FC Cincinnati fans put together a "So let it be written, so let it be done." There it is.
So let it be written. So let it be done.
Oh, the delay is the pause.
For all the kids out there that have never seen that movie, they didn't know what was coming next or whether their show was over.
They're like, why is there so much dead air? That's Yul Brynner from 10 Commandments as Pharaoh Ramsey saying, "So let it be written. So let it be done." I think it's just a fantastic. Jared was the one who said The King and I, which is a musical, and I'm like, I don't know, we're really doing that. Okay.
I'm just saying that's out there too. It was interesting though, and this might be going too far in the weeds, so my apologies if so. But if Atlanta had sold Pitti with a sell-on clause, and Cincy ended up buying him, would there be any issue with Cincy sending way too much money to Atlanta somehow? Like Atlanta would be getting a part of Cincinnati's buyout from Al Nassr.
It's a good question.
That's a very good question. Has that ever happened in MLS?
I don't think so. If I think about players that have left and come back, I mean, Kai Kamara left and came back, but I don't think there's a sell on there or anything from Middlesbrough, I think.
He left and came back.
Who did?
Yeah, but none of those players. First of all, I mean, I'm sure that there have been sell-on clauses and partial ownership in MLS transfers before, but I feel like this is a pretty new phenomenon for MLS that every player now, especially because they're now dipping their toes in the South American waters.
We've only been a selling league for 2 years or so now.
That's what I'm saying. Like we're just brand new to this. So like we don't even know where to put the sticker on the used car. Like does it go on the back or does it go on the front? Like we don't even know. So for us, it's like, okay, 20%, 80%, 40%. Like that, let's do this. Let's mix it up.
It's a very unique scenario right here with the player leaving this quickly and coming back and having a club that's had financial problems. But it's an odd thing. And the really odd thing, too, when you think about FC Cincinnati is we're about 6 months removed where Bobby Wood was their big signing that they were going for.
I know. That's amazing.
What changed?
That's a good
lot
question.
of losing.
They were losing before.
Yeah, but it got worse.
I'm sure. So
Jaap Stam's got on the hot seat now. If he can't win or give results with these two players, Jaap Stam is going to not be long for this world.
I'm going to guess that somebody went to Carl Lindner and said, you know what? this is really bad. You, Carl Linder, are looking bad. The Linder family is looking bad. And they were like, we can't have that. Go and spend money and make us better.
No, someone up there said, you got to stop this whole Dutch thing.
Well, no, they're not going to stop
working.
that.
It ain't working.
I don't know. They got some Dutches.
Pressure's on now.
They got some Dutches. All right. So FC Cincinnati's making moves. We're going to see if everybody else starts making moves. Jared, I mean, I know you said that everybody's kind of slow playing it right now, but there's still time left in the window, and now the field looks like it's done.
The window's so much tighter now, though. And in terms of a lot of players have already made the moves they were going to make. So now you are looking for places like Al Nassr that has financial problems and needs to move a player. You're looking at China. You're probably looking at Argentina, which you're always looking at. But you're looking at these places where clubs have to make moves, and you wonder is something going to change with the Pavone stuff now. Like there's things out there right now with some of these players in some of these leagues that you wonder if things are going to be different now as the purse strings start opening back up, and we know that they're not far from starting the league. And I'm not sure, but there's a number of teams that just need to make moves right now. And I would say Inter Miami is maybe one of them.
Do you know what they're connected to?
I noticed that guy. It starts with S in England. I can't remember what his name is.
Ryan Shawcross.
Yeah, Shawcross.
Oh man, I made a joke. I said, I hope that Cincinnati of all clubs dropping a ton, like, being baller and dropping money on players like Brenner and Pity Martinez leads David Beckham to having an ego freak out that he calls up Jorge Mas and says, Jorge, we need to spend I don't know how to do David Beckham. A lot of money.
We need sexy.
We need to go out and get the Spice Girls here. I don't know how David Beckham talks, but Ryan Shawcross sure as hell ain't that. He ain't the sexy, right? Come on.
No, not at all. And it's interesting because you would expect Inter Milan to splash a little bit more than that. I know what the other Higuain re-signed.
Miami, you said Milan, but sorry. No, and look, I think that they do have Higuain. They do have Gonzalo Higuain. They brought back Federico Higuain too, but he's not the one everybody cares about. And they got Blaise Matuidi. He'll come back in that midfield.
You still got Pizarro, but a lot of the pieces are the same right now, and you just wonder is the piece of the coach going to be the one that really changes all this?
Yeah,
I'm looking. If I'm a fan in this league, I'm stoked. If I'm an Atlanta fan, they make good moves, intelligent moves that seem to put them in a good position, and you got Joseph Martinez coming back. If I'm a Seattle fan, I'm not too happy because now Jordan Morris is really going to be gone for the beginning of the season. If I'm a DC United fan, I'm not happy because you don't really know the coach that you got. And you're now up without Paul Arriola for the first part of the season. And DC United and Seattle are not the same from a depth standpoint of talent. Where Seattle, maybe they can get by. They still got Ladero. They got, I want to say
Rui Diaz.
I always want to say Diaz Arce, man. I'm just old like that.
Yeah, you are. You have old brain. Why do you have?
Sorry, dude. I know people from back in the day. I don't know what to tell you.
All right. So while we're here, before we move on to the Americans abroad and how the weekend went for everybody and maybe America in crisis, I'll get to that. You mentioned Christian Pavone. We should talk about Christian Pavone a little bit. I don't know how much attention to give this because he's not a Galaxy player right now.
Not currently.
He might not be a Galaxy player when the season starts. It's not looking great, and yet we got to give Dennis DeClosa some like mastermind level love. Apparently, can you walk us through the reports and what's going on with Christian
I'm going to
Pavone?
try to get it right because it was in Spanish and I was reading it through translation, so I may not have everything right here.
No hablas español?
Not at that level. Not at a Big J journalistic level. I can't.
Leo español.
Okay, then I'll send you the links. Apparently, the LA Galaxy structured this deal where basically Boca Juniors thought that it seems like they thought that the LA Galaxy would be so enamored and love Carlos Pavone so much that there was no chance they weren't going to take him in the end. So much so that they were paying the Galaxy to there was a clause in contract that if they did not sign them, they would reimburse him for the money that it cost him during the time he was here.
Right. So the Galaxy were paying a loan fee. Okay, yes. It's pretty standard. Now there was obviously the option to buy at the end of the deal, at the end of his loan, which is where they are now. And as you said, it seems as though the Galaxy somehow snuck in a clause, and Boca Juniors somehow just blanked on the fact that if the Galaxy did not purchase Pavone, they would owe the Galaxy the money back on the loan fee.
So somehow now the Galaxy are in a position where they've given Pavone back and said, "Hey, by the way, you owe us $600,000."
Man, that's like it's like going back to Best Buy with the receipt like 6 months. It's like buying a TV for the Super Bowl, putting it up in your backyard, and then taking it back.
Yeah, I wasn't happy with this, and the clause right here says that you're gonna give my money back, even though I just used it for a bunch of months here.
Sir, why are there bug guts in the back of your TV?
So now it begs the question. I know Boca Juniors and Galaxy couldn't come to agreement, but they owe him $600,000. Like, do you want to discount this a little bit?
Right?
Maybe they end up taking it.
Right.
I mean, otherwise you're going to sell them off for probably less than 10 because the Galaxy wasn't going to pay 10. If they had another buyer, they would have already made the move, and you're still have to give Galaxy $600,000 after this.
I think, and it's wild to me this hasn't gotten done yet because, and I know there was like this idea, well, he's going to revert to Boca, and then he goes back onto the Boca roster, but they didn't make him. He wasn't part of the Libertadores team. Like he's not really part of their team. Like that's why he was on loan to friggin' LA Galaxy. So
he still was on the provisional roster for the Argentina squad, though.
Well, I know, but what I'm saying is he clearly wasn't fitting in at Boca Juniors. He had this decline. His value had dropped. It just wasn't working. His escape clause, or escape hatch rather, was to go to LA and play for GBS. Obviously, GBS didn't work out in LA, but he seemed to enjoy his time there. Yeah. I'm surprised that the Galaxy's leverage over the freaking pandemic hasn't made this happen. Because what can Boca Juniors say at this point? Like, oh no, we're holding out for 20. Like, you guys got nothing. You're rubbing two nickels together down, just like everybody else, by the way. Just like Sao Paulo, just like Al Nasser, just like everybody. What are you doing? Why? What are you doing?
Yeah, I'm not sure, but if there was leverage, there might be some leverage here now to bring him down and get something for this. But I really hope that Pavone ends up being a Galaxy player again by the season start. I don't think it's going to happen, to be honest with you, by this point. But if not, they got to move. You've got to replace this. This is a DP level player. You have an open spot. The Galaxy can't start the season with just an empty DP spot. This is the Galaxy. You have to have a spot. You have to fill that.
I can't play I'm not going to play the LA Stars drop again. But yeah, I see.
Or you have to at least sign someone that's coming in July. If let's say the window closed in the game, right. You have to have it be a known factor of what you're getting come July. Otherwise, you're waiting till August. You're waiting till August to fill this DP spot. That's putting Greg Vanney in a very tough position. It makes you wonder too. Maybe this is where Josie ends up. I don't know.
Yeah, but do you want to pay Josie a DP contract? I don't.
But that actually worries me because that's Greg Vanney's boy. You know, he knows him. You know, he's shopping out there.
So you guys are just going to be connected to all the TFC players and ex-TFC players.
Well, that's kind of the way it goes. I mean, that's what happens with Caleb Porter and Darlington Nagbe. I mean, these coaches have their players. You know.
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll see what Greg Vanney's what his actual thought process is on this, but it's a really interesting story. And one of the first things I can really applaud Dennis Teclosa for is somehow getting this clause in that contract.
I mean, yeah, that is just absolutely.
I love it when a plan comes together.
That is Hannibal level machinations to be able to pull that off.
Yeah, elephants over the Alps. I know.
And by the way, that's George Papard Hannibal, not Liam Neeson Hannibal. Okay, no. I mean.
I was going Roman Hannibal.
No, I'm saying from the A team. Hannibal from the A team, George Papard.
Yes.
Who is the good Hannibal as opposed to Liam Neeson, who played Hannibal in the movie, which you may or may not have seen.
What TV show?
Oh, well, okay. Yes, of course. But you could be a Mr. T fan, not an A team fan. That's possible.
For the podcast listeners, I am wearing a Mr. T shirt right now.
You are wearing a Mr. T shirt.
And Mr. somehow the sleeves fell off.
Do they sell? They don't sell Mr. T shirts with sleeves on them.
Oh no, this is custom. I often rock this shirt with a pair of jeans I cut the legs off of, so I've cut off jorts that I wear it with, but not like Daisy Duke style. They're like knee.
I'm not. That's not. No.
I'll send you a pic.
Now here, this is for you now. Since you wanted to inaugurate this earlier.
I'm the baddest mofo low down around this time.
That seems very fitting. That was not Mr. T. That was Shonuff from The Last Dragon. Okay, let's talk about Americans abroad. Look, there's some good here. There's a lot of meh here. Yeah. There's some promising here, and then there's Christian Pulisic. And look, I've said this already. I do not want to go jumping off any balconies. I don't want to freak out. I don't want to have a cow about the fact. I can't believe I said that. don't want to be like overly excited or upset about the fact that he's not starting under Thomas Tuchel, but it's 4 matches. He has been a sub in 3 of them, and now today he was not on the roster. They're saying it's family issues. I can't really say anything about that. I don't want to make any jokes. Maybe it's something serious. Like,
yeah, it could be.
How do you feel about? How do you feel about
here's the problem. Stanley Tucci's running a system that is like a 3-4-1-2, and in that system,
that's just a bunch of that's like the code to your luggage. That's not a real thing.
It could be, but he's running this system where Christian Pulisic doesn't really have a spot. You know, if there's a 2-man forward line, is Christian Pulisic one of your 2-man forward line?
No,
that favors far more.
So no, but maybe yes, in the sense that, and again, he's been a substitute 3 times. In the sense that after I think the second game, which I can't remember which, maybe it was the Burnley match, he said something like, "Yeah, it's kind of like a false striker, the role I'm playing." That's Pulisic saying that. Is that good? That's not. I mean, if I have Christian Pulisic on the field, and we've talked about it with his national team too, because when Greg Berhalter took over, and when we were still waiting for Voltron to come together, and by the way, Voltron still hasn't come together, and I don't know if March is going to be that time, depending on how things go. There was that question: play him through the middle because he's your most creative player, or play him out wide because he's great in space 1v1. Now the game has shifted to the point where you can have your best creative player wide, and he can be attacking at angles, and that's absolutely fine if you can work the others, certainly the back post and get those runs and all those things. But the United States men's national team decided he belonged out wide. Chelsea used him to great effect out wide. Now suddenly, as you said, Stanley Tuchel comes in and says, "Nah, dude, you're going to be in the middle and also on the bench." What?
I don't know. Tucci's lineup seems to be one that wants to play far more through the middle than through the wide areas that Reece James and stuff like that, like players that were traditionally like bombing down the wings. That still can happen in this, but it's going to come from a defensive position, not necessarily from an offensive position. So I mean, when I remember back with BVB, with Dortmund, Pulisic played in the center a lot more than we've seen him do with Chelsea. I mean, he would be a lot more central, not in the center, but more central than what you've seen with Chelsea over the last year or so.
I think, okay, maybe. I also think that he's good at looking for space, and sometimes that space can be closer to goal if the ball is on one flank and you're creating space on the opposite flank, right? And yeah, obviously he could hang out wide and wait for a switch, but especially when you're in the attacking third, Christian Pulisic can make those runs through the middle, or he can be an option in the middle to pick his head up and pick up runners. If that happens, okay, fine, whatever. But that's not what we're talking about.
I think Tucci's system is designed to get the most out of Timo Werner, who has not gotten what he needed out of.
That's why they hired the dude. I mean, he's got the Timo Werner.
No, but don't you think a 2-striker tandem up top is a far more beneficial Timo Werner showcase than playing him out wide in a 3-man forward line?
Oh, sure, yes.
So I think he's it's not Tucci's job to say what is best for Pulisic.
No, I understand that. I'm just angry because I'm an American and I want Christian Pulisic to be playing and playing well.
I don't see what his future is with that kind of formation. I mean, if he gets hot, they'll find a place for him somewhere. But he's not hot, and in the limited minutes he's gotten,
you saying man's not hot? Are you saying man? Look, you saw those
beard.
You saw those pictures. You saw the GQ pictures. Come on.
I like the pictures.
Did you really?
Oh yeah. People try to say it's water fountain stuff. That ain't water fountain. That dude's looking good.
No, it's not water fountain stuff. It's just, it.
You're just not comfortable with a man looking good.
I don't have a problem with it. I was fine. I thought people were being real judgy. That's how I felt. I mean, you want to lay like that on a couch? Judgy. You want to look sexual on a couch?
If I could look like that, I'd trade with him in a second.
I've never laid on a couch and looked sexy. That's never happened in my life. I mean, try really, really hard, but you can't
need to channel your inner Burt Reynolds and get a bear rug.
You mean like grow one, or
no? You never seen the picture of Burt Reynolds on the bear rug?
No. Yeah, I'm making a joke about his body hair too. We're kind of in a limited body hair era of culture, and I'm not a limited body hair person. So
I got like 4 hairs, and they're all out of one nipple.
I don't need to know these things. You cannot share things like that on this show, man.
I actually got my hair cut this weekend, like actual barber place.
I did that.
It was actually my wife's salon because I made the appointment before it was legal.
I did that last weekend.
Go in the back door.
don't. What you can't.
No,
I don't
of the
have.
salon. Literally, I was going to go in the back door of the
No, no,
salon.
Okay, I went to get I took my kid to get his haircut, and I went and got mine, and mask up and the whole thing now. And it was like two people in the salon in the middle of the day, obviously low traffic. And I'm pretty sure that the guy that cut my hair, which is not standard where I usually go to cut my hair, it's always women who are cutting hair. Okay, this is unusual. I won't. Okay, you know what? Screw it. Got no shame. I went to hair cuttery. Okay, I don't know if you guys have hair cuttery out there.
Nope.
No, you guys got the chain hair cutting place though, right? Like Supercuts or whatever.
Yeah, Supercuts is out here.
Okay,
and
so
I've actually preferred that during COVID because they take their stuff seriously.
They have protocols. Yeah, they're pretty good about it. Right. I know that you got a fancy hair situation. I want to get into it. I don't got time. But I went to a hair cuttery.
You want to know my product?
No.
Okay.
No. I just want to know your product.
Just saying.
I went to hair cuttery and I get Cesar. Cesar's cutting my hair, and Cesar takes his stuff serious. Like, there's
Cesar,
no
one
way.
of those dudes that goes over the fade 20 times just to make sure that everything, and it starts hurting your scalp because they're getting the fade so right.
He wasn't quite Papi Chulo Puerto Rico level, which I have had done in the past as well. But he was in that area, and trust me, I liked it because I was like, oh, he's actually, because I've gotten some cuts recently where it's like,
did he put the suavecito in at the end?
I got everything, dude. I got the whole thing. I got the whole.
Put that Tres Flores in there, man.
He got the massage thing working, which
nice.
A little bit too much in some of the ear, under the ear areas. But I'm just gonna.
You mentioned the ear. That's what I was telling you because I'm doing this. This is my wife's hair lady I go to. She's like, "Oh, you want me to clean up inside your ears?" And then she said it like that. I was like, "Come on, like."
Oh, inside your ear, like inside your ears.
I was like, "Well, yeah, of course I do, but like, I don't want you to mention it. I just want you to do it."
So I didn't get the ear. I watched that, and there was no ear hair necessary. Oh no, you know what? There was like he did the thing on the outside, the little twinklies. But he also was like eyebrows, and I was like, all right. And he did the comb, and then
yeah, because you're probably looking like that old dude in Braveheart. You know that one dude in Braveheart that's got the really long eyebrows. You gotta go back and watch that movie sometime.
Look, man, if that's like your calling card, then lean into it. Like, why
not? Speaking of hair and good hair.
Okay.
What do you think about my man Weston McKinney and The Weeknd looking like they're like parent trapping me?
They're switching places. Like, you think it's that close?
How did we never notice that before?
That's a good question, actually. Now, maybe it's because The Weeknd is Canadian, and we just try not to talk about Canadians very much. I don't know. What is it?
Rest in peace, Iowa Canola.
I will say this: I watched a little bit of the halftime show before we came on the air. The Weeknd is not an athletic individual. He's just not. He is not. And he was trying to do a little Michael Jackson.
He ain't got that Usher kind of moves. He ain't got the mushroom moves, you know?
No. He's not Usher. He's not Chris Brown. He sure as hell ain't Michael Jackson.
He seems like Michael Jackson, but he don't dance like him.
No, he does not. So this is where the breaks down just a little bit for me, because Weston McKinney is an incredibly athletic dude.
So much
hugely athletic dude with the everything going on. He obviously we kind of put him in the everything's good. We can kind of just ignore him because everything is fine. 65 minutes in a win over Roma. He wasn't great. It wasn't his best outing.
It's weird. Playing on the left side instead of the right, and I mean, he and Cuadrado really have a good thing going together in terms of chemistry.
That's because of the hair. It's like a hair. They're like power twins for hair.
Got a little more of the twist, though. You got a little more of a twist.
What did you make of the not this, but what did you make of the Harry Potter situation?
I honestly thought he was fencing because I've never seen a Harry Potter movie, so I didn't know. Like, I was like, oh, he's a swashbuckler. I like that.
Let me do this again. This is just it's a very Nick heavy episode.
Sausage King of Chicago.
Nicholas Soup and Sausage. Have you ever seen? You've got 2 kids, 12 years old. Have you ever seen a Harry Potter movie?
I have not.
Oh, that's an upset.
I tell you, I've never seen one either. I don't know about these things.
Wow, I've seen some. I'm just never been like super into it, but I've seen them.
But listen, once McKinney got flavor, and he's playing on the left side against. It was a cup game, right? Was it cup or no? It was league game, and
no, I think the one thing. I think that was the Copa.
No, I'm talking about this weekend.
This weekend was a league game. That was a league game.
But oddly, like Cuadrado wasn't playing. Danilo was on the right instead of the left. So he had I'll say Marco. I forget I apologize. I forgot the guy's name that was playing left back, but they were struggling to kind of find, I think, a rhythm on that side of coverage. Mm-hmm. And I think that they're unlike normal. Cuadrado has free reign to go forward, and knowing that West McKinney will cover. And I think they were trying to achieve the same thing on the left hand side, and it just wasn't coming off quite right. I don't think Wes McKinney had a bad game by any stretch, but it just wasn't the standout game we normally see. But what I do like, if you watch Wes McKinney off the ball, and I credit to Murata. Murata really commits on the defensive side for a striker. Like he really comes back.
Well, it's because Cristiano Ronaldo does nothing.
Yeah, but when the best thing I've seen that shows that Wes McKinney understands what Pirlo's system is trying to achieve. Every time Murata or Cristiano Ronaldo check back for a ball into the midfield, he's instantly into that space. He is instantly into that space, pushing the back line. He does not hesitate at all. As soon as that opening shows up, he is there.
It is 100% his instruction to be that player, to kind of play this outside in defensive midfield late attacker. Is that you know what I'm saying? Like he kind of does, he covers tons of ground, certainly defensively. He's also back. He can, even if he cut a field, he back presses incredibly well. So I mean, he just, it's fine. By the way, somebody mentioned this in the Patreon Slack. Sorry, in the Slack for our Patreon people. By the way, if you want to jump in the Patreon, be part of the community, get the bonus shows. We're probably going to do some Ted Lasso stuff. Patreon.com/thebestsoccershow. Somebody said his middle name. I looked it up. This is true, at least according to Wikipedia. His name is Weston James Earl McKinney. I mean, now, I don't know that it's James Earl Joe. I don't know that that's the reason that but that's a pretty incredible name, right?
I mean, that's Vader.
It's Vader. It's the guy from Field of Dreams.
The king from Zamunda.
Yeah, the king of Zam. By the way, have you seen the trailer for the new?
I appreciate the new one. The barbershop seems going to be really good.
You ready for that? You really think they can capture the old magic? Why are we doing all the old stuff again? Why? What are we doing this?
I'm down for it. Every once in a while they get it right, man.
I haven't seen Maverick. Has that been out even? Did they even drop?
No, it was supposed to be out last summer. They put it. They waited. They're waiting a year. They may even wait till next summer now. I think. I'm not sure if it's coming this summer or next summer.
By then I'll be dead. What are you talking about? I'm not going to care about it then.
I hope not.
Maybe
you got
not.
a young one.
That's true. I can't die. I got to be here forever.
Has your son seen Top Gun? Is he ready for Maverick?
He has not. He has not seen Top Gun. Oh, my 12-year-old, you mean?
Yeah.
That's a good question.
There are no points for second place.
I don't know if he's seen Top Gun yet. I have to check on that. That's a good question.
Goose.
There's that's a good question. All right. Otherwise, so McKinney.
Let me tell you who I am nervous about in this weekend. I'm not nervous about McKinney. I'm nervous about Pulisic. I'm nervous about Gio Reyna these days.
Are you? I
just don't feel like he's had the same impact he was having earlier in the season.
Now,
Erling Haaland's back, and I'm still not seeing it.
Well, Dortmund is off. There's something broken there. Now, obviously, they made a change, right? That's why Favre lost his job, because something is broken, and I don't know what it is. And I don't know that Reyna's a part of the problem or not. This is where I am with Giovanni Reyna, and I know this is a low bar, but I think it's okay to have a low bar for a player as young as he is. I'm kind of in this place of, is he still starting? Have they kicked his butt to the bench yet? No? All right, I'm good. I'm good for now. Is he scoring goals? Maybe not. Is he creating a bunch of stuff? Maybe not. But they are so dysfunctional at the moment. I mean, Dortmund's in 6th place, or was last time I looked. That's not where they're supposed to be. How many seasons you have to
go back before last time Dortmund was in 6th place or out of the top 3?
It's been a while. I actually just wrote a column last week about Americans in the top 6 in the Bundesliga. My editor said
they have the supreme lineup. It's it's got every player that is like on the hot 50 list. You know, they have a ton of talent.
Yeah, when you have Haaland and Sancho and Reyna and
Bellingham.
Excuse me. My God, you get me.
It happens, dude. I tell you, I'm not good with names.
Yeah, I mean, you still have. I mean, Marco Reus. Okay, yeah, I don't know where that. Yeah, okay. Yeah, they should be better than they are, right? I mean, they should be higher in the standings than they are. They're in 6th place right now. They are 3 points back of Leverkusen, who's in 5th.
Yeah, Matt Hummels in the back. I mean,
remember that. Remember, it's top 4 for Champions League, and then I think the 5th spot is one of the play-in round Champions League spot, or what Arsenal used to have to do before they stopped making the Champions League completely. So that's right now.
It makes me wonder that if they miss the Champions League and the paycheck that comes with that, do they try to offset that by selling players in the offseason?
Yeah, well,
Gio Reyna just signed a 3-year extension.
I don't know that I don't know that Reyno will be the first one. I mean, they can sell Sancho for $100 million.
Holland's the hottest one they have, but he just got there. They just brought him in. I think they want to get more value for that still.
Yes, but have you ever known Borussia Dortmund to say, yeah, we'll hold on to a player for a while? No,
there's always someone coming behind.
That's not what they do. That's not what they do. All right. Any other Americans abroad that are worth? Okay. I have not seen the game. I will just mention it. Chris Richards started, played 90 minutes at center back for Hoffenheim. They lost to Eintracht Frankfurt, but I think in general he acquitted himself.
I'm just stoked the guy's getting minutes. I'm stoked it's at center back. That was one of the questions we had when he got loaned out, if he was going to be it for center back or right back. We think his future is at the center back position. I'm happy for the kid. I'm glad he's getting minutes. I think it's better to get minutes there than be on the bench for Bayern Munich.
Tyler Adams started and played 90 minutes for Leipzig. They won 3-0 over Schalke. Matthew Hoppe started again and did not score. He has now stopped scoring. And I don't think that means he's bad or anything, but he was always going to be unsustainable.
If I told you he had 5 goals in 5 games, you would have been happy with that. I just didn't tell you that the first 3, all 5 of them came in the first 3 games,
And Josh Sargent was not able to disappoint Jared DuBois because his game, Werder Bremen's game, was postponed because of snow, I think, in Germany.
I think he ended up with the same score line, though.
They would have scored 0 goals anyway. Is that what you're saying? Oh, come on.
It's a good likelihood.
Oh, come on. Yunus Musa played 25 minutes off the bench. Serginho Dest dressed but did not play in a win over Real Betis for a game they were behind in that Messi came in and just took over. I don't know what that means. I don't know what it means. I don't think Dest is having a great time.
Yeah, I think that he's been in and out with a bit of a knock as well. They've been talking about a little bit for him. So I'm not sure. I'm not making too much of it. I think when he's in the game, he still looks really good. I think Barcelona's just trying to throw a bunch of different things to the wall to figure out what works right now.
Do you have DeAndre Yedlin anywhere near your best U.S. men's national team roster right now?
No.
Okay.
I mean,
if he starts getting minutes, significant playing time, he played 8 minutes for Galatasaray, but he had just gotten there. If he gets starts for Galatasaray, do you move him up and plays well? Do you move him into your team? You would have to bump
my 23-man roster.
Your 23-man roster, yeah.
No, I think it's so deep right now between Dest and Cannon. I mean, maybe if you're going to take a third right back, that's what you'd be taking at this point. I don't know if you're taking a third right back.
He's also a game-changing sort of wing option. Kind of is.
Yeah, you know what? I'm not seeing the place for him unless you prefer him over Cannon, because I still think that you're going to put some of these other like midfielders that are in there that you're not going to put him in at the midfield spot. To get, let's say you're late in the game. If you're going to make a late game sub, you're not putting DeAndre Yedlin into the midfield to try to get more pace down the right-hand side. You're going to put some other game changer you have there, like a Brendan Aronson or something like that. So I don't know. I don't think that he's your late game sub. I don't, for either if you're ahead or behind, and I don't think he's close to the starting position right now. I think he's just kind of the odd man out until if he really starts producing for Galatasaray. I think you have a question there, but until then, I don't think Berhalter's looking back.
Okay. We've got a couple minutes left. Again, reminder that if you want bonus content from us, you can get it at the Patreon, patreon.com/the best soccer show. I will talk Old Dad FC on that program, but also I should mention here, let me see if I got to look look, they're right here. I've got 4 extra copies of Tom Byers' Soccer Starts at Home, 2nd edition. Tom was awesome enough to send me 5 copies of this book. I'm holding one for Tiago when he gets old enough to kick a ball, which is, I think, next week is when we're going to start training. So I'm going to read this and do it. Come on, I'm not that mean. I'm not Tiger Woods' dad. I want to give these away. Okay, so I want to do these. I want to do a giveaway for these books. A couple of them are going to definitely go to our besties on the Patreon. So that's going to be something to look out for if you're a Patreon subscriber, or something that you can look for if you sign up for Patreon. But we will find another way to do this. You're going to help us spread the word of the show, and then I'll give you a book to help your kid learn how to play soccer. So it'll be good.
We got to think of a game or some way to give those away. And we'll probably talk about that in the next week or so.
Okay. Oh, yes, we can do that. We can absolutely do that. Anything else? I mean, I feel like there's some
The only thing I regret we didn't talk about is the fact that Tim Weah is still playing pretty well for Lille, and we'll see what comes to that. Hopefully, he keeps getting minutes there, but hopefully it's not all doom and gloom in Europe right now. There's a couple of guys pulling through.
Well, hopefully the French league doesn't completely collapse. That would be a good thing too, because it looks like
they're the title winners.
Yeah, sure. If the season ended, and they were the league that quit first last year, remember, or during the pandemic, they were like, all right, we're done.
Wait, the French surrendered first?
No.
Jay Rodius.
Shocked.
Man, that's not right.
I can say it. My last name's Dubois. I can say it.
But are you French?
I give up pretty easily too.
Do you eat foie gras? That's what I need to know.
I don't, but it's only because it's never been put in front of me.
You would eat foie gras. You would
try
eat
it.
Goose liver pate before you would eat some good cheese from France.
gross.
Are you serious?
Gross.
Are you serious?
Hell yeah, I'm serious.
I'm gonna need a poll. I'm gonna need a poll of the besties and other people. Good French, like stinky not camembert, but stinky like real French cheese, or goose liver pate. Which one are you eating? That's what I want to know.
Goose liver pate.
Oh my god, you're crazy. Absolutely crazy.
Over stinky cheese?
I think most people would choose the cheese.
That smells like feet in my mouth.
People are they stuff the goose until they explode, basically, to get the goose liver pate. Or they used to. I don't know if they're doing it
they let the milk go till it almost expires to make cheese.
Yes.
A lot of times has mold on it. A lot of times has mold on it already.
Exactly. It's supposed to. That gives you the flavor.
Gross.
Both of those processes are millennia old, Jared, because human beings have honed these processes to make these foods. Okay. And I don't know why you turn your nose up at a tried and true ancient process like cheese making.
Color me crazy, but I have a standing order with myself to not put things in my mouth that smell like butt. I'm just not going to do it.
Okay, look, there are many varieties of cheese. You have not smelled enough butt to know that they all
I have two boys in this house, including me too. There's
several.
Ask
You've
my
been
wife.
through all the varieties of butt, is what you're saying. That's what you're saying to me.
It's a frequent flavor in this house.
If you guys are not checking out the midweek show, it's From the Stands. It's me usually talking to an expert about a player or a club with an American connection. I just did one on Brendan Aronson going to Roma, and then I jump on a phone
Brian
call.
Reynolds.
Did I say Brendan Aronson? Yeah, I meant Brian Reynolds. That guy. I get my
you got
B's
the
mixed
Dubois
up.
disease.
I got old man brain is what I got now. Old Dad FC's got old man brain. I did one on Brian Reynolds with John Solano from RomaPress.net. It's a very good episode. We talk about Brian Reynolds. I got on a phone call with Jared. We kind of talked about Brian Reynolds. There was also there was more dairy talk. What is this about dairy? Why are we doing so much dairy right now?
I think you're bringing it up. I don't think it's me.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Mr. Super Sausage, anything from you?
I'm good.
He's good.
You
Mr.
guys
Dubois.
check out Cincy Soccer Talk. Definitely check that out. My man over there doing good work, and his team doing fantastic work.
They are cracking so many stories over there at Cincinnati Soccer Talk. Just every day cracking on those stories. Just crack. You can't even. It's like a chiropractor over there. Crack. All right. What else? Nothing. Follow us on Twitter, Bestie Soccer. Follow us on Instagram, The Best Soccer Show. All right. I guess that's it. I wanted to make sure we got everything in here.
The only thing we didn't talk about was those third kits, but we can do that on the bonus show. Maybe.
Oh yeah, Jared's team's gonna get a throwback look.
I'd rather talk about Phillies.
That's not a third though. Atlanta is a third. Philly's not a third either. That's just their alternate. The only team that gets a third is Atlanta because they sell more than anybody else. That's gonna do it for us. We'll talk to you guys next week. Bye.
Damn, dog, that's in a approach. Damn, dog, that's in a approach. Danger zone!
The horror show.
What are we doing?
What? We just become best friends. Yep.
Jay Rodius.